Hello, and welcome to The Good Leader, where we will explore aspects of good leadership and take the journey to becoming a good and effective leader. I'm Dr. Julie Donnelly, and leadership is my passion. I am on a mission to help you become the best leader that you can be so that you feel good about your leadership ability, feel confident in leading, and enjoy the process of leading. So today's topic is learning to lead. How do we learn how to lead? Becoming a good leader takes time, attention, and effort. Even if you are born to lead and you possess natural abilities to lead others, you still need to know how to do it well. And that requires self awareness and reflection. It requires a strategy for practicing leadership skills and obtaining the feedback needed to make necessary adjustments in your leadership. And it also requires a willingness to grow and to learn. In other words, you must be intentional about developing your leadership skills. There are several ways to learn how to lead well. The first being just learning, studying leadership skills. It's a great way to start. And just being here and watching this video is great. It adds to your knowledge about what leadership is, and you'll learn ways in which you can lead others. I've been studying leadership for decades. You never really finish learning leadership. It's more of a journey than a destination, and you get better with practice. Another way that you can learn to lead is through a mentor. A mentor is typically someone who is doing or has done similar work. They can give you the inside scoop on how to lead in that area. It shortens the learning curve as they share their tips and strategies and lessons learned. They offer feedback and advice. It's a wonderful way to learn leadership. There are some keys to working with a mentor, including commitment, willingness, open mindedness. But not all of us have the access to a mentor. And so, if you don't have access to a good leader for mentoring on the job, then there are other ways that you learn leadership. You can learn by watching others and seeing what is effective and what is not. There are good leaders who can be role models for you, whether you know them personally or not. For example, someone in your company may demonstrate qualities that you want to obtain or develop. You can certainly watch them and then practice demonstrating that quality in your work. The same is true for leaders that you knew about, but they're deceased now, or maybe you see them on TV, sports heroes and the like. So you watch them, read about them, and learn what do they believe in, or what's important to them, and then watch how they behave so you can then emulate those qualities and behaviors. You can also learn by watching the bad or ineffective leaders. In fact, this is often how you learn the most. When you witness firsthand someone whose leadership skills are poor, this has a great impact on you. Yeah, the impact can be quite troublesome to manage while you're involved with that person. However, what you learn from this type of leader is how you do not want to lead. It informs your leadership by forcing you to consider, how do you want to lead? And unfortunately, I have learned a lot about leadership in this way. It's been a big part of my experience. It has been bad leaders. Another way, and probably the most common way to learn to lead, is just trial and error. We all have to learn this way to some degree, because while there are skills that we can learn that are essential for leading effectively, we each must try them on for size and figure out how to make them work given the context that we work in, and using our personalities. John Maxwell says that examined experience is the best teacher. So, with each situation, there are lessons to learn if you examine and reflect upon your experience. Are you really leading if you're not paying attention to the impact that your leadership has on those around you? After all, leaders need followers. If you've been promoted into leadership, then yeah, you have positional power, which means that you have power by virtue of the title that you have and the authority provided by that having that title. But leadership is not a position. Um, you can lead without the position. John Maxwell also states that leadership is influence. So, your ability to influence the people around you on your team and other departments, that's the key to good leadership and to getting things done. Yet, the big question is how? How are you influencing others? How do you go about influencing others? You can influence people using fear, making demands, or issuing orders. But how effective is that? And how does it feel to be on the receiving end of that type of behavior? How likely are your people going to respect you, follow you, and be engaged at work if that's how you treat them? The number one reason people leave their job is due to the relationship with their manager. Um, and that's by Gallup polls, numerous studies have demonstrated that. That's the main reason why people leave their job. Referent power, aside from positional power, referent power is another form of power, and that is developed using strong interpersonal relationship skills. So, this is when people follow the leader not just because they have the position, but because they like them. They feel valued by the leader, and they feel that the leader is a good role model. People ask themselves, well, what would the leader do in this situation? And what would the leader expect of them when making decisions or taking actions? And so, referent power is an exceptional form of power and influence when it comes to leadership. There are two main things that good leaders do. They care about their leadership. They assume personal responsibility for how they treat other people, how they come across, how they influence people to get things accomplished, and how they show up. And secondly, good leaders care about the work environment and how people feel when they're working for them and for the organization. A good leader knows that in addition to the work environment is crucial. It's a crucial element for furthering the mission of the organization. So here's some things for you to consider as you go through your week. First, identify the qualities of a good leader that you would like to practice. What qualities do you believe are essential for good leadership? Second, how do you influence others? How would others describe your current leadership style? And in what areas might you want to improve? And third, how are you developing your leadership skills? What are you doing to get better? I highly recommend that you keep a journal and reflect upon your leading. Write down your observations of other leaders, whether they're good or bad, and make notes of things that you have heard from others, meaning feedback that you've received, as well as thoughts that you have in your interactions during the course of the day. And we'll see you here next time. I'm Dr. Julie Donnelly. Thanks for joining me today. Please place your comments below or ask any questions, and I'll address those leadership questions in a future video. Subscribe to the channel if this interests you. And until next time, make it a great day.